Yeah, that's girls. Hard work.
You're listening to the Chartographers.
Hello, everybody! You are listening to
the Chartographers.
Wow, guys. I'm glad we're ending this season where we're ending it. Guys, we do rank music from worst to best, forget the rest, although, you know, with that last David Bowie episode, let me tell you, it was a journey, it was a thing.
Yeah, I don't know if we can apply worst to best.
I know. Worst to the top 7. The thing is that it was me, Evan Sadi, it was Taran O'Reilly, it was our 2 favorite guests, John Harvey and Bobby Evers, doing it, ranking the Bowie, talking about the Bowie, and that's what we're doing in the Happy Hour Minisode, where the bitter tensions have quelled somewhat. And we can talk about some other Bowie-related things in this particular era, including, most importantly, the question that we start at the top of every Happy Hour Minisode. Guys, let's just fucking do it. What is the worst pre-1981 David Bowie song?
I haven't had this many choices in so long.
Man, I did make a little list. I was going through each album and writing down the songs that I thought were the worst, and Love You Till Tuesday is still
up there.
Great.
Creepy Chris Tucker Bowie's up there for you.
Mine is still Sell You a Goat.
Mine is also off of the debut, and it is still Join the Gang, because there are a lot of times when that song doesn't fucking rhyme.
Dude, while we're just shitting on that... Oh, sorry, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say Please Mr. Gravedigger as my worst choice. So, I think that after we finish shitting on the debut a little more, I'll pick a song
Our favorite non-debut.
Real quick,
Right.
no, because I showed my bandmates, I was like, I told them I was doing this podcast, and we were ranking David Bowie albums, and I'm like, yeah, except I think I listened to the worst album I've ever listened to, and I just started playing it as a joke, and it was so entertaining to just play to others, because everybody's immediately like, this is terrible.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, When I Live My Dream? Oh, cool. Yeah, there was some dark... Yeah, also, We Are Hungry Man. Oh, your debut album, you're going to talk about Infanticide. That's great. Alright, so...
Oh yeah, that's some fucked up shit.
Exactly.
I can't believe we didn't even talk about that
We Are Hungry
before.
Man? Yeah, that's, again, shit. So that being said, what is your favorite worst David Bowie song that's not on the debut?
Favorite bad David Bowie song?
Yes. Or just the worst David Bowie song is what I mean to talk about.
I wrote down Running Gun Blues. Also, Joe the Lion off of
Joe
Taran.
the Lion? Really?
I like Joe the Lion.
I wouldn't call it my favorite, but...
I couldn't even tell you now what it sounds like, but as I was listening to it, I was like, this goes on my list of songs I don't like.
Okay. That's surprising.
Honestly, after initially kind of liking it, African Night Flight is a good choice.
Yeah. That might be mine. That is actually definitely my pick. Because as much as there are other songs that I don't like on there, that's like primo terrible Bowie.
Also, I can't pull what it sounds like to my brain, but I remember really not liking Nukon off of Heroes. It's just one of the instrumentals.
Yep, couldn't tell you what it sounds like.
Yep. So,
It's like the saxophone one, where it's like it's just like it's like all that cold fucking atmospheric one. It's like
That sounds terrible!
you know that one?
Oh, that one, yes. Oh, that one.
I don't know it, but I don't want to hear it now.
What's your pick?
Either Fill Your Heart or Hang On to Yourself. I really just don't like Hang On to Yourself.
I mean, yeah.
How does Hang On to Yourself go again? What's the...
So hang on, we really got a good thing going, so hang on. Hang on. I
like
enjoyed that song.
I also,
Yeah.
I'd probably put Scary Monsters before that.
Yeah.
And yet Scary Monsters is one of the best songs on that album.
Really? That's one of the best songs on
I just
there?
think it's like...
It's the title of the album, so that's how people remember
Oh, also the fucking Gnome song.
Which one?
I mean,
Laughing
that's not
Gnome.
on one of these albums.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's pre-80.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to No Man's Land.
What
like
was
these
that
bad-
on?
None of these bad song questions that, this is also, the self-title's the only one that I've, noticeably been like, oh, these are terrible. My brain kind of was like, if I hear a bad song, it just kind of pushes it out and erases it from memory.
Right,
So
it's
like,
like
I have a
not
hard.
worth thinking
Yeah.
about.
So when you like ask me this, like I just can't remember.
I think, but the reason I do it is because, especially after we did the worst to best, like I think it's just a nice kind of like re-engagement of like reaffirming, or like, you know, as much as I love that album, no, that song was really terrible. It's just a different perspective to look at it. It's also a good jumping off point for discussion too.
Oh, fucking Chant of the Ever Circling
the
Skeletal Family.
Yeah.
I didn't even mention that
During Diamond Dogs.
the main episode, but so it's just like a normal like rockish song for a minute and 30 seconds, and then it just has like this skipping like guitar blip thing, and it's like really like I have to like take my headphones out.
Yeah, no, I agree
like
with that.
to the extent where it's like this really just shouldn't be on a song.
Yeah.
There's no reason. It's like almost as bad as the shit during Zerika. I'm serious. Like it's that obnoxious.
Yeah. So, one thing I did want to talk about, and I don't mean to get like too dramatic, controversial like right away, but Taran and I had this really interesting discussion this week. How, especially after he put on the dress, after The Man Who Sold the World, he did an interview with Melody Maker where he said very explicitly in the interview, "I'm gay." And the thing is that, especially in the time, and like I said, for someone that was being a pop star, that was selling records and things like that, was an extremely controversial thing to say. And then I think it was a decade later, did another interview where he said, "I'm straight." And, like, it's just kind of felt... And I had weird feelings about it, where it's like, David Bowie opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people. But when I heard about that kind of crass promotional thing that he did there, I had mixed feelings because, A, like, oh, you're co-opting the gay community entirely for your success, because that is exactly what he was doing. But at the same time, I had conflicting feelings, too, because, like, he was hanging out at a lot of gay clubs, he was getting to know a lot of people, he was hanging out with Andy Warhol in the factory, like, he was a part of that
experimenting with homosexuality, or like...
Yeah, like a drug.
He wrote that, I remember he said that, like, he said that he described himself, like, felt that he was bisexual, but that he didn't really bother saying that to American audiences because they would just say he was gay anyway, and there was no real point in doing it, and then I think then later said that, like, probably saying that I was gay was, like, kind of a mistake, and that he was just really more sexually curious. I mean, he also fucked Mick Jagger. I remember
Which is a story, a true story.
I remember his wife just walked... The story of that by his wife's account is fucking hilarious, because she's...
Walk us through it,
she's like, she opens up the door, and she's like, I opened up the door and saw Mick and Bowie naked in bed, and I decided, I bring them, like, tea or something. And he's like, and I have to admit, I was a little bit jealous, because I wanted to sleep with Mick.
And she's not wrong, right?
There's I read this thing that I'm surprised isn't, like, more part of the pop culture zeitgeist, but I think in Elton John's, like, biography or autobiography, he described about how he really didn't like David Bowie because of the co-opting of the gay thing. Mm-hmm. But I guess Bowie didn't like Elton John because he thought that Rocket Man was just ripping off of
Space Oddity.
It totally is.
No, you want to hear another one? Benny and the Jets also kind of pulling a few moves from Changes.
I mean, it does have the stutter in there.
Benny and the a little bit. I'm saying Bowie stole a lot of shit too. Bowie's not innocent in that regard.
No, he's not.
So then, like, then on top of that, like, Bowie, like, he'd come, like, Bowie's calling out Elton John for being like, he's old school dad wave. It's not like really anything progressive. And like Elton John's like, it's like, fuck you. You're not even a real gay, and you're just co-opting the shit. And now you're talking shit, and like, fuck you.
That is a cat.
And he was like, kind of like really, because he also Bowie's coked out of his mind. So there's like, I just thought that conflict was kind of funny. I'm surprised it wasn't talked about more.
For me, like, it's also one of those things, and like this, I don't know why I'm bringing this up as a discussion point, because it's stupid and we're not endorsing it, but like, he made a lot of great stuff on cocaine, guys. Like, actually, though, it's
like Stephen King wrote a lot of good shit when he was on drugs.
Yeah,
Rumors would not have happened without cocaine. Like,
and Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of because especially this era, like him, like when he picked up, like I'm not even sure how much I love him as a producer in terms of, like, what the sounds that he's getting out of when he's producing a record. It's just more the fact that he's producing and giving attention to artists like... Because, like, Lou Reed's Transformer, it's a crazy album. These were all songs he basically wrote for the Velvet Underground, but they're all fucking classics. And, like, when he does Walk on the Wild Side, his, biggest song ever, like, it was Bowie that probably had a little bit more of the influence of, like, yeah, let's have the backing vocalist come in with the doo-doos there. Like, let's make that a real palpable, real thing as you have the slide bass going on. Like, he was fascinating. He was a little bit of a raw producer, but, like, I kind of, like... We also, during this entire podcast, didn't even mention Tony Visconti, his biggest fucking collaborator, who, like, is incredible, actually, who, like, helped him realize all these sounds.
We just barely scratched the surface. His collaborators are also the most important part of the whole
Legitimately,
shit,
though, because, like, as great as Bowie is, he's not an amazing guitarist, he's a good songwriter, but, like, yeah.
But then he has the, what's acronym, the DAM rhythm section, Davis, Alomar, and Greg Murray, like, the bass player, guitar player. Dude, Carlos Alomar is also just one of the most incredible guitar players ever.
I could tell that just from watching him.
We watched the 5 Years documentary before going into this. Yeah.
And he has a couple appearances on there where he, like, for example, he breaks down the Fame riff and shows each layer as it was, like, they were just riffing in the studio, and
like Bowie heard the tape of it and he's like, I like this spot.
Right, he heard the tape of, like, the very bass, like, guitar simple arpeggio thing, and then kept adding on top. But just, you could tell from those such short clips playing songs that you knew already, you're like, oh my god, this guy's a fucking amazing guitar player.
Yeah.
Just, like, sitting in a chair strumming, you're like, oh, that sounds perfect.
But I think it was actually John Harvey who brought up the very, very fascinating point about, like, especially that documentary of how David Bowie, great songwriter, everything else like that, he knows how to play his bandmates. He knows how to implement them.
And what I found really impressive is that, how much these genius level players were impressed and thought that, Bowie's not a technical guy, but the people that aren't technical are just like, wow, this guy's fucking clever. Because, you have you have Rick Wakeman from the iconic band, prog rock band Yes, playing keyboards on Hunky Dory. And, this is a guy that formed some of the most complex music ever. And even he's like, oh yeah, this move that he does on Life on Mars is fucking brilliant. And I was just there to spice it up a bit, but, like, this is how he written. Like, this guy fucking, this guy wrote fucking helped playing Roundabout and shit. And he's like, yeah, Life on Mars, that's some crazy shit going on there.
Yeah.
And, then, like, I love, like, when in some of those documentaries you show that, like, Bowie will have something. Like, he still writes most of these songs, like, he'll come up with an idea, like the stuff with Nile Rodgers, he has these chords, it's kind of a rockabilly thing, it's called Let's Dance, and Nile is like, cool, let me take that and turn this, let me bring this around.
Empty space, add some echo, yeah.
And Golden Years is the same way, that he just kind of this basic riff, and I forgot what he said, it was ripping off another song.
Yeah, I couldn't
he said he was ripping off another song, and he's like, oh, you can't do that, so Carlos Alomar then switches around to that, and there's so many people that are just like, these ideas get passed around and get turned into something incredible.
Bobby, I was wondering, did you go and see the David Bowie Is exhibit when it was here in Chicago?
I did.
Okay, because I know, Taran, you did not get to experience it, but, like, we did see it briefly, and specifically in talking about his pre-1980s stuff, I want to get your reaction to it as well, because I had a very specific reaction to two things, and I know you had a very specific reaction to something as well. What were your thoughts on it? Because, for people that weren't there, I wasn't even a big Bowie fan at the time. It was this big exhibit, I guess it was in London, traveled to a couple other places there. It came to Chicago, and, like, my parents were in town, like, let's go see it. And, like, I'm like, David Bowie's cool, I guess, whatever. And I went there, and it was mind-blowing. But walk us through that.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It had all of the, the visual things and the artifacts, and it tries to take you through an experience, but, like, I felt it was kind of hard because I went on, like, a Saturday around the holiday, and
God.
it was real busy, so you're just standing in line to read a plaque or, like, a placard, and then, like, so it's kind of a tough experience, but then, like, it's like motion censored, so, like, as you are approaching an exhibit or a thing, it'll just start playing in your ears.
Uh-huh.
It'll play music, and it'll play his voice talking and narrating things, and because he was still alive at the time, So, I went with one of my friends, and it's always a bad idea to go to a museum with someone. just because like you're reading at different paces. It's like trying to read a book at the same time. Like I don't know. So like I went all the way through and I was done, and she was still standing in line to read placards, and so I like went through the whole thing a second time. And I think
so you got a lot of Bowie.
I got a lot of Bowie.
Did you see the Coke spoon?
I don't. I must have.
It's hard. It's very easy to miss. I think I got a picture of it somewhere because it's like smaller than your pinky.
Yeah, I mean it's cocaine.
I almost missed it until I was like checking out some photographs and I saw this little metal, very ornate, finely carved silver little.
Yeah, fair. Well, the other thing
that sounds about right though, because Stevie Nicks always used to talk about how, like, the reason she liked cocaine so much was because there were all these little trinkets that came with it. Like, all the cute bags and, like, all the spoons and all these little, like, tools that you need to, like, do coke in various ways. She's like, I love that stuff.
Cocaine should make a comeback.
This podcast does not endorse cocaine.
I can't believe I had to say that twice during the fucking recording of the David Bowie thing.
Endorse cocaine.
I remember because I went to the David Bowie exhibit, and that was, I mean, I just feel like I learned so much about just art in general. Most specifically, dude, like, that totally changed all my opinions about fashion. Like, I totally kind of got
not just
fashion,
the song. Yeah.
Got fashion after that, and you have these people that are like, oh, these famous, European and Japanese designers are all obsessed with David Bowie because his features, like, every inch shifts from what's normally defined as a masculine or feminine feature. So it's like masculine shin, feminine cheekbones, like masculine, like, yeah, just everything keeps shifting. And so, like, you kind of start to understand, like, how goofy it's kind of supposed to be, and you just kind of are supposed to challenge that. But there's, like, they had so much shit. They had, like, the suitcase synthesizer that Brian Eno plays pretty much everything on Low and Heroes with, was, like, sitting in a box.
Yeah.
They just kept all these, like, all these, like, all the fucking artwork that would become album covers and stage designs, like,
all the alternate photos from the different photo shoots for these things,
dude, there was,
Yeah, I felt like the Berlin trilogy was, like, that whole section was a really interesting thing. Because, I mean, like, I feel like when you talk about any sort of artist who is trying to break out and do something experimental and, like, it's weird and different and hard to listen to or challenging, like, it's sort of a cliche, but, like, with Bowie, I feel like he sort of, like, invented that in a way of, like, I am gonna go alone in a room in Berlin and do weird music that just sounds nothing like pop.
Right, because, like, I mean, I remember, like, I have one of George Harrison's, his Wonderwall album, and one of his solo albums was basically, like, solo sitar shit for, like, an entire album. I'm like, cool, and and he did another album where it's just like him with the synthesizer where you could only do one note at the time. Like, imagine you had a keyboard, you can't do any overdubs or anything else like that. It's just one keyboard, but it was crazy cool because it was new at the time. So let's go ahead and try it out. He did a whole album of that.
Yeah.
Pioneer in the genre. It was a shitty album. So, like, and there was something about that. Like, I remember seeing the video of him during the SNL performance where he was like done up like Naomi Klein, like he did that that whole thing. And then also I remember the Eno cards because Brian Eno, he's done it with U2 and he's done it with other people. He has this deck of cards where it's like it says things on there like reverse the song. Or, like, it says, like, do it, as blue or something like that. Like, these whole creative clues of, like, if someone's stuck on a particular album, he'll, like, pull out a card and, like, try and do it for you. Like, it's this whole, like, process that he's done, which is good because I don't know if you know this, and especially in this podcast that we've been doing for 2 years now, Brian Eno comes up a lot in a lot of the things that we've done.
It's our second Eno artist.
I guess so, technically.
Who was the first?
Talking Heads.
Yeah. Because that was also, like, again, dealing with crazy idiosyncratic people that did crazy things. And
reining them in.
Yes, exactly. Well, reining them in, like, he found a way to, like, be creative and arty and commercial at the same time, though. Because, like, for every album Eno touches, it is commercial, but it always has an element of weirdness or at least a statement to it, though. As much as we think of him as an auteur, he's still a pop guy at the end of the day. And I think even he doesn't maybe not want to admit that. He's got some killer solo albums in the 70s, baby.
Baby's on fire.
Yeah! Off of Here Comes the Warm Jets. That was fucking crazy, yeah. John Harvey, do you have any other good Bowie stories from this era? Thoughts?
From the Berlin one? I don't know.
Or just pre-1980.
I'm fucking, dude, I gotta admit, I'm pretty fucking exhausted from fucking all the Bowie talk.
It was draining.
I just, man, like, it's just kind of the weird thing when you, like I said at the beginning, it's kind of the crazy thing about it. It's how so many people from every different genre just decided that, like, Bowie is, like, high art. And I think like the only other band that I can think of that had like that unanimous agreement was like Radiohead. That people are like, yeah,
every
like,
album.
that people are like, oh, this is like, this is like culturally significant and like really like and that expands from beyond just the music itself. Like, you know, like his music also inspires like visual art, and the fact that you have like Aladdin Sane is one of the most iconic album covers.
Bobby got face painting of that during his DJ night when he did that. Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, it's just crazy that how in every nook and cranny he kind of just seems to pop up. I'm not sure if there really is a more influential single artist than David Bowie.
Yeah, like you could say the Beatles, but in terms of the number of genres and styles that he did,
the Beatles are obviously clearly influential. You still hear their song structures everywhere. They influenced David Bowie, but I feel like they influenced music and the way that people responded to music. Whereas, like, David Bowie, and it helped that he started in the 60s and 70s, so he's had time to permeate, but he's, like, in every form of popular culture. In, like, you find his influence in music, in fashion, in cinema, in, like,
he's fucking great
everything.
Cinema. Yeah.
You, like, see the David Bowie influences.
And
the way that he influenced how, like, people see gender and see, like, humanity. Like, he really reshaped culture.
Well, yeah, and that's like the way when I talked about, like, how I was still upset with him kind of co-opting the gay community, though. He was still a really popular guy that said he was gay and was still pretty popular.
It wasn't a cool move. It wasn't, like, a popular move, you know? Like, it was a cool move.
Yeah,
exactly. But it wasn't a popular move, you know?
And he kind of made it, like, for a lot of people that were outsiders and weirdos to be like, that's cool. Someone else is out there, like, doing it.
I also think he was just generally so fucked up and busy all the time that I think he believed it.
Yeah.
I think the more that when you hear about it, I think he, like, did kind of believe that. But, yeah, like, I mean, like, you know, he even admitted that, like, the marriage with Angie was kind of a sham. And, like, there's other funny stories of, like, oh, David and Angie throw the best orgies.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that absolutely sounds about right.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, I also loved how much he just gave back to new artists, you know? Like, he totally... He was never one. He's not a fucking Keith Richards or a David.
That like holds
David
on to his
Crosby.
legacy with his old craggly hands.
Yeah, they're like, oh, these kids don't do it. Like, you know, David Bowie's the kind of guy that will like look at like Lorde and be like, man, I think she's really cool, and you guys, you need to look at her because she's sweet, or he'll be like, man, like Death Grips, man, like I kind of dig what they're going there. Maybe I should pull some of that.
Or when he was listening to the Kendrick album when he made his last album.
I mean, did you see that thing from
Champion Dark Fire?
Yeah, like his 51st birthday was just him championing other artists for the best part. Have you seen? You know, where that famous picture is, where it's like he's like sitting backstage, and it's him with like sitting next to Billy Corgan, Lou Reed, the Foo Fighters, Sonic Youth, The Cure, and and like all these famous and Frank Black of the Pixies, and all of his favorite artists, and Trent Reznor, and it's like every single person that he loved, and he just used that to like. Almost every song during the set of his 50th birthday, he just bring on somebody new and like his favorite people to just play with, because he just loved new music and new art, that he was just down to be like to support new people.
Yeah, and he always threw it behind there, which is why he did the guest vocals on the Arcade Fire and the TV on the radio albums and everything else like that.
Did you guys read the Trent Reznor interview about after he died? He was talking about how David Bowie like talked him out or like talked him into like getting help with addiction or whatever. Like I don't know. It was just
I remember reading that. I don't remember very many details about it.
It was like about like when they did the tour, like David Bowie was like, I've been there before, and it's totally not necessary. You're still brilliant. You're brilliant. It's not the drugs, and you don't need that. And that's kind of also what I dig about Low and Heroes, is that, you know, like you'd think that he like worried that like if you have the drugs he's not going to be there, but he abandoned that and busted in two of the most famous albums of all time within 6 months of each other.
Right.
You know,
and like and for him, I think it was also in interviews he talked about him realizing he could still create art while sober. That was like significant and powerful and still touching. Because Heroes, even wasn't the biggest hit, it was still a hit. Nowadays, it's one of his most listened to songs.
Nowadays, it is his number one.
Yeah, the day we recorded this, Billboard reported that he had breached 1 billion streams on Spotify, which is great.
I think well, that's the reason why maybe like if I was saying what I think the best record is, because it's like a moot point. But like with Heroes, I just think that in terms of like all the styles and everything that he's in, I think is kind of like the most extends in the most further thing. Like Heroes is also almost like the prototype for shoegaze in a sense.
Yeah.
Some of like the more ambient style like rock that's going on there, the riffage is still strong. I don't know. I just think he bends genres, guys.
All right. Well, I got two last things to talk about before we go. First off, of this era of 67 to 80, just curious. What is the best cover you've heard of a David Bowie song, of songs from this era?
Oh man, I'm so glad you asked this. My go-to is going to be the Sea and Cake doing Sound and Vision. It's just a perfect...
I didn't even know about that one.
I sent that to you.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
That's the one with Beck?
Yeah.
No,
because Beck did the Diamond Dogs off of the Moulin Rouge
Oh, I
soundtrack.
fucked the Diamond Dogs one. Beck did a cover of Sound and Vision with a 150-piece orchestra, which is fucking insane.
That sounds awesome.
And then like it basically turns into like this 9-minute version, and then like it's got a fucking gamelan section. It's like, and at the end, like they like kick it up in double time, and then they got like a 30-piece chorus, and they're singing like everybody down with the sound and vision, and like everybody's fucking clapping.
All right, well, we know what we're gonna watch after we stop recording.
And I think I'd say either that one or I didn't really listen to a lot of people covering Bowie, but I did finally get around to listening to Lorde do the Life on Mars cover at the Brit Awards, and that was fucking heartfelt. That was, I kind of get why
more than fucking Lady Gaga's Bowie performance at the Grammys. That was the whole thing.
What do you got?
I had one.
Oh, you
just
was
a
Dewey
second ago.
Cox.
Oh yeah, Starman from John C. Reilly is actually disco-fied and wonderful.
Honestly, I kind of like it more than the
I know. I didn't want to say it, but it's so fun. It's better as a fucking disco song, straight up. I don't want to say it. It's true. It's sacrilege. I don't care. The other one I want, and like it's obvious as fuck. But you know what? Give the guy credit. Nirvana knew how to pick a fucking cover.
Oh yeah, fuck. That's the reason I like that song. It's fucking Nirvana.
Yeah, because like legitimately, their cover of it, like his voice complemented that era of Bowie surprisingly well. Like
I mean, because he had such a one of a kind, and you could almost, in a certain way, describe Kurt Cobain's voice as dystopic. It is also kind of alien and sounds like Kurt Cobain's singing voice sounds like it could be from like a dying race.
I kind of wish he did a song off of Heroes.
Oh my god,
too.
that's so real.
Speaking of Heroes, the fucking Wallflowers. Doing Heroes from the Godzilla soundtrack.
Where like
are we in agreement on this?
Oh yeah, no, I love it.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
How about the Elephant Love medley, you guys?
Oh yeah. In the name of love. Alright, so the other thing I want to do, it is our season finale. It's the big break there. So
before
I'm
you
gonna
close off, can I get a real quick favorite Bowie song
of this era?
of any?
I'm just gonna say Ashes to Ashes. Just because of the
Heroes.
aforementioned thing.
And I wouldn't have said that 2 weeks ago, but my pick would be Heroes.
Interesting.
Gut instinct, it's a tie. Dude, I mean, gun to my head, Life on Mars, if I had more time to think about it, might even be a new career in a new town.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Mine's either Heroes, and it's like a tie between Station and Stay.
Man. Also, there's some stuff on Heathens that's really good, like Heathen the Rain.
Oh fuck! I take it back. It's probably Black Star.
We're not even. Yeah, exactly.
I love it when he extends. Bowie, keep it. Keep extending.
Exactly.
I have a tangent as well.
Okay.
Can you tell me what happens in Space Oddity? Like he's going into space.
Right. He's talking to ground control.
He's talking to ground control. Then what happens? Like, it sounds like...
He becomes famous.
No.
What?
It sounds like something goes wrong.
Something goes wrong.
Something goes wrong. I would assume an explosion of some kind.
Okay.
That's usually what happens in space disasters. Yeah. And then, for whatever reason, he's still alive, but he can't get back to Earth.
And so he's just
floating.
Yeah, that's how the song ends. I'm floating and there's nothing I can do is the last words of the song.
Right.
And then it's just like the fucking horns like drifting off into space.
I sort of got that impression, but like It wasn't. There's something missing from the story.
No, I think
it's pretty nebulous.
He uses music to describe those kind of transformations,
Right.
and that's
Boom,
like you know,
boom, boom, like that's something intense happening.
like
Yeah.
when, like that closing like guitar and like saxophone.
Right,
like
it's
you
just
know, I know
like-
you said you hate Chant of the Ever Circling. I think before it does the dumb skip, like because Big Brother's about brainwashing, and you know it's like the end part where like he's finally like submitting to Big Brother and it's been converted. Like Chant of the Ever Circling is kind of like it's the first minute and 30 is supposed to be like after it's converting, it's like normalizing all the fucking brainwashing, which is why it like sounds so creepy and manic and before it does the dumb skip.
Okay.
And so like I feel like he has like certain moments in that where it is like that's
the
what I find.
music is backing the narrative.
That's what why I still love all the instrumentals is that it is backing, you know, this like, you know, like this. It's like you know,
an unseen movie.
yeah. Yeah.
So then with Ashes to Ashes, presumably he's in some other planet,
Yeah.
and he's just like,
And but the thing is, everyone knows Major Tom's junkie, so it's like, is that
Yeah.
like actually him, or is that people's perception of him? Because they clearly, he
Yeah.
was famous, people clearly knew who Major Tom was, but like, you know, and then of course, didn't Major Tom later appear on another song on there, Hallow Space Boy, off of
Yeah,
some
I heard
90s
that.
album?
Oh, yeah.
and then there's a little bit of stuff in Black Star in the video. There's like
Oh,
a
in the
broken
video?
astronaut.
Oh yeah,
and
the
it's
astronaut
like,
with the
oh.
gold skull and all that other stuff like
Yeah.
that, yeah. That was like, I watched that video recently, even though it had nothing to do with this era, but I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking weird video.
Dude,
I listened to it during the eclipse.
Oh,
I was
that-
like, this is what I want.
That I was looking up that like I guess like the guy that directed that very iconic had also directed the music video for "Hung Up on You" by Madonna.
Oh, all right then. And hey, listen, she looks great in a pink leotard, guys. I'm telling you that, no matter her age. So the last thing I want to do, it is our season finale. It's a big event. We have two of our favorite guests on there. So two favorite guests. I want you to trust me for a moment. Can you do that? Can you both trust
I will
me for a
never
moment?
trust you, but go on.
Okay. Can you both close your eyes for a moment? This is the reluctance is amazing.
Evan, I know what you like to do to blind people.
Okay.
That's just close your goddamn eyes.
Closing.
All right, keep them closed. Keep them closed. Keep them closed. Keep them closed.
I think I know what this is, and
Keep them closed.
Something is on my leg.
All right. So thank you for narrating this, by the way, because podcast listen. Okay, that's all. That's you can open your eyes now, Bobby.
I do a fucking love cardboard.
Oh, cardboard. I love it.
Yeah.
This appears to be a gift of some kind.
Yes, it is a gift. Of
Did
some
you get
kind.
us a gift?
Maybe I did.
Why?
I hate gifts.
We don't
I know
deserve
how much
things.
you hate gifts. Exactly.
And possessions.
I know.
Material goods. Oh, shit.
Oh shit!
Evan. We don't
Is this
deserve
why you
these.
asked me that question earlier?
Yes, I did.
Evan.
For those listening, Evan bought both of us a vinyl copy of Aladdin Sane, which
Yeah.
is, I was going to go home and listen to it on the computer anyway, but now I'm going to go listen to it on vinyl.
Evan. Thank you
Oh,
so
thanks,
much.
man, dude.
Yeah.
I kind of want to frame it because it's got that iconic.
I know. Yeah. Like
Dude,
it's fucking great.
Dude, the backside is also pretty fucking
Right,
bitchin' too.
Yeah. It's just like a sketched outline of
Is this-
the cover in blue and red.
Did somebody, like, drop these off a truck?
I mean, I'm not saying how I got them, but yeah. I mean, like, it's one of the things, like, I eventually had... I'm really glad it made it into the top 7 because, even though it was number 7, though, because, like, yeah.
I think it's also a top 5er for me, at
Yeah.
least.
It
you
is
know?
for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wanted to just get you guys... I wanted to thank you so much for enduring the podcast that we've done
Oh,
and
thank you.
doing that,
Thank you so much.
at the very least, because we leave in a spirit of wonderness and generosity. That's what we're all about. I want to say, and I think it's the first time I've ever said that, but sure, let's go with it. But in the meantime, though, John and Bobby, thank you so much for being here and being a part of our
Thank
epic
you, guys.
Joey
Thank you,
discussion.
Taran.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, Taran doesn't get enough credit for all the work he does in the show.
Yeah.
I think I get
What?
credit. I get plenty of credit.
You should
Yeah.
work getting more.
Evan does a lot of work.
But we do it together, and I will say officially here, I didn't allude to it earlier, but there will be a season 3. And if you guys would be up for it, we would potentially want to do a David Bowie 83 to 2016, if
Have
you'd be
to, this
okay
one.
with that. Exactly.
Yeah.
I went back and was like to kind of, what am I expecting? And I realized the first one I started off was actually probably going to be the last one.
I have a
think.
feeling we're going to agree on the worst ones a lot
But
easier.
then,
on
then I started checking out, and like he actually did bust out some really interesting, some pretty good records here and there from
Yeah.
like his later career.
Yeah.
Also, you know, like Black Star having industrial elements is less surprising once you see what he was doing.
Oh yeah, especially in the 90s once he did like Earthling and other
Yeah.
things like that, once he was experimenting with drum and bass heavily, yeah. Well, in that case, guys, do us a favor if you wouldn't mind. Please, due to the kindness here, please go ahead and rate us on iTunes and like us on Facebook and post your own list and Stitcher and all those things. Taran, any final wonderful thoughts?
No.
All right, so in that case, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for listening all season long. I appreciate it. We'll catch you next season. Have a good one. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.
This is the worst song ever fucking made.
It's the worst song that's ever made.
All right.